Path of Titans is changing, and I feel like I'm saying that every week now because, well, it's constantly changing. And today, I'm going to be talking about some examples of the Foliage rework and new Homecave decorations and some other stuff that have been recently teased on the game. So, in the last video that I talked about for the game, I covered changes to various biomes that were in the game. For example, Dried Lake was completely reworked, or the introduction of nests to the game's map as well, with them being on both Pandora and Gondwar in these locations. For Gondwar, they were in Dried Lake, Whistling Columns, Burnt Forest, Flyers Bluff, and more, and on Pandora, they were found in Deep Lake. Now, other biomes were reworked as well. Burnt Forest was slightly reworked, and Whistling Columns was slightly reworked as well, because a lot of the dense forested areas were cleared out to make way for some of these nest sites. However, there was another thing that I noticed in Whistling Columns. On the Gondwar map specifically, there was a change that seems to hint towards the beginning of the introduction of the Foliage reworks to the map, and it kind of coincides with the reworks to the map in general that were happening. For example, in the Whistling Columns area, there are fallen logs which can be found in that point of interest, and these coincide with the rework of it opening up the area because these logs weren't there before. However, they're very obvious to find. They're literally placeholders. They have no textures. They're just a grey model with just nothing, no detailing or anything like that. It's a textureless object. It's just there, which makes me believe this is a placeholder for an incoming Foliage piece that they've made that they're going to add in replacement of that. And these are just there to see how they fit so far. But with the Foliage rework on the horizon, this to me is very much one of those introductions to go alongside the map reworks, and it could be the start of something new. And speaking of Foliage reworks, we actually have a new piece of foliage or an item, or well, a structure in a sense, that was showcased by the developers on Twitter. So let's talk about that one right now. The Foliage rework is well underway by now, and well, I mean, I talked about that in my Everything We Know recap video, which I released last week, which I recommend you check out. That being said, the developers have shown off new Foliage designs set to come to the game, saying this on their Twitter. We've been working on some new Foliage designs. What do you think of this giant root system? They are large enough for dinosaurs to crawl under and perfect for small dinosaurs to climb on to escape predators. And this is massive, by the way. In the picture, they compared it to a fully grown Pycnomosaurus to the roots, and the roots completely tower over that Pycnomosaurus, and likely any larger dinosaur would have somewhat of a hard time traversing this unless they were crouched. I can't really see Spinosaurus traversing this if it tried to. These come in 3 separate splits by the looks of it as well. You've got the larger one, you've got a medium one, and then you've got a smaller one which you can only see a glimpse of in the distance of the third photo. However, that could be the medium one on a different angle. However, it does look like, and from what I'm assuming, this could be a modular system, because by the way, in the second photo it was placed, it looks completely different to the first photo, and it looks like they're combining 2 different root systems together, and maybe you'll be able to see them dotted around the map. That being said, someone did comment on the Twitter thread, and I thought this was actually a really good point. They said this: it'll make sense if you add giant trees, otherwise where would the giant roots come from? And I agree. I feel like giant trees are very much something that's needed in the game if you have these giant root systems as well, because where the hell are these giant roots coming from? They'll look so out of place if there isn't anything massive tree-wise to go alongside it. But do you guys agree there, or do you guys think these giant roots will just come to the game and you're fine with them not having a big tree to go alongside it? Or do you think giant trees could make their way into the game as well? The final new and upcoming content I wanted to talk about came a couple days prior to the announcement of that new Foliage design, and this is to do with Homecave decorations. New Homecave decorations are coming to the game. Seemingly after Homecaves were released, we saw very little updates to the caves, very little details for the caves, very little Homecave decorations came out, but now we have some upcoming ones to be excited for. This was posted on International Museum Day on their Twitter on the 18th of May, which was the day or just after I came back actually, and it said this: Celebrate International Museum Day by turning your home cave into your very own museum. We've been working on some new home cave decorations which we're excited to bring you soon. And they shared 2 photos. The first doesn't actually show anything new from what I can see, it's just a Ceratosaurus looking up at the Allosaurus statues which you can get from referring friends in the game. That being said, the next image showcases 2 new decorations. One of them looks like some form of skin or dried skin in a sense on like a drying rack, and it looks really cool, like a carpet that you get from animal skin or something. I mean, it does remind me of that, but it looks really cool. It's hanging from a hanger or a rack or whatever you call it, a stick pretty much. And the next one is a Tyrannosaurus head sculpt from a rock, which looks absolutely awesome. I really like the idea that they're going with here. Now I have 3 different ideas on how this could be. Firstly, it could be home cave items that you can buy for your home cave using marks, or it could be items that you get from quests, just quest rewards, or it could go alongside the achievements and metric system, specifically that Tyrannosaurus head. Imagine getting like a certain amount of kills, you know, as a Rex, or killing a certain amount of Rexes, you get this Tyrannosaurus head placement for your home cave. I think that'll be pretty cool. Ties into the metric system and could be a neat reward. I believe they did say you'd be able to get stuff like this as a reward, home cave stuff, from getting achievements as well as skins and stuff like that, but we'll have to wait and see what they will be. It's likely they'll just be purchasable with marks anyways, but that is that. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. I'd love to know what you think. If you want to check out another video, I recommend my latest video showcasing everything that's new on the public test branch, minus all the bug fixes, but all the important stuff. Or you could check out my stream where I dove into the public test branch and explored that as well. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.